Shalom.
Shalom.
Before we begin this lesson, we want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Bahashem,
Yahushai,
Bahasham,
Bahasham, Rakah,
Rakah,
Kodash. All right, double honors to the elders and the apostles that we learnt from. You already know who they are. All right. We're not officially a part of their camp, but we acknowledge them as the true prophets of all Israel today. Shalom to you, diligent, elders and the apostles. Because without the Lord putting the Spirit on you to give us this truth in these last days, and we'd probably still be stuck in Christianity or something, man. So, the water for your diligence, and diligence is important because, the brothers' hard labor is the reason why we're here today, man. All through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but we really appreciate that, and, we got to show our appreciation through these lessons, Shalom to you Israelites on the highways and hedges, okay? Shalom to you brothers in your diligence, like I said, And shalom to you sisters in order, you Akwaf, okay? It's very important. Shalom to you for, being what you're meant to be doing, doing what you're meant to be doing in these end times. You're very important. Shalom. And shalom, which means peace be unto you, by the way. Shalom to you Israelites scattered abroad. It may look like these other nations. You might look like a so-called white man, Chinese man, or whatever. But if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're a Hebrew Israelite, because it's ain't about color. It's about your seed line. Okay, if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you're a Hebrew Israelite. And we can identify you through the Spirit. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit. We are the children of the Most High. It's a spiritual thing. It's not a physical thing. It's not about appearance. It's about your spirit. But we will say that most Israelites are going to look like Israelites, and most Edomites are going to look like Edomites. But we won't say all so-called white people are of the devil. Some of you are Israelites. So shalom. And this lesson today, we're going to speak about, the growing tensions in Russia, with Russia and Ukraine, as well as, the Levant region. But the focus seems to be about Ukraine at the moment and Russia, because, war is escalating, and it's just proving more and more that the Bible is real, that we're slowly ticking down time to that great day of doom where nuclear missiles will be shot off. Okay, this is very much biblical prophecy, very easy to prove with scripture that day is coming. And you still got people investing in this world. I mean, I just don't get it. That's some type of mental illness, to be honest. Because unless you just fully just don't believe in that Bible crap, how people like to say, that Bible crap, I don't believe in that. Big Bang, Mother Nature. They believe in all these bugged out philosophies when the signs are right there in front of you. The Bible was prophesied about certain things that are meant to take place in the end times, and we're seeing it happen in HD before our very eyes, man. Everybody's talking about the war. It's all war talk right now, man. But yet people think that the Bible is full of crap when we've been bringing out what the Bible says is going to happen, and you can see it actually starting to come to pass, man. The 10 horns hating the whore. We told you what that means. All these countries are going to turn on America. They're going to destroy it financially through the BRICS. Biblical prophecy just popping up right in front of your face. We're explaining it, but people are still making investments in this world. That's mad. I don't get it. But at the end of the day, the Lord has put spirit on you not to get it. Not to understand. So it is what it is, man. And it also displays the power of the Lord. For you to be so blind as to things that are so clear for others to see spiritually. It's a spiritual thing going on right here, man. Alright. You got any precepts you want to begin with, or anything you want to say?
I mean, just speaking on the war, like my brother mentioned, we are coming to a point where the tension is escalating. Like they're now threatening nuclear weapons to be deployed. Well, Russia is especially, and that just goes to show you the times that we're in. Like so like my brother was saying, people that are still invested in this world, on the brink of World War III and nuclear missiles being, shot off from each end of the earth. You know what I mean? Why would you sit there and think that you can invest in this world and that it's, that this thing is just going to blow over? It's not going to blow over because it's prophecy that it's supposed to happen the way it's happening. Scriptures talk about it, in detail, And it's like people that are still invested in this world, it comes down to it that they're just non-believers. They don't believe that the word of the Lord is true. They want to lean on their own understanding because you do hear a lot of people saying, it's not going to happen in our lifetime. It's never going to happen in our lifetime. Well, what do you call it then? When you're hearing these countries like sort of, going up against each other, it all falls under prophecy. It don't look like it's going to blow over to me. It looks like it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. The more they add fuel to the fire, that thing is just going to keep, escalating and boiling over. And you can see it. You can clearly see it. I mean, a blind man can see that. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll even go as far as to saying, you people out there, men and women, right? Any of you that have children and you're not in the spirit of preparing yourself for what's coming, you are a horrible parent and you have failed your family. Try to prove me wrong. You know I'm right. You're a horrible parent and you have failed your children and you have failed your family. You're a failure. Because the only thing a man should be, or a woman, should be focusing on right now is getting right. Okay? And if you think you're getting right by running to the Christian church, you have also failed your family. Every time a civilization gets destroyed or a city gets destroyed, anytime the Lord sends judgment, he sends his prophets to give the warning. Who are the prophets today? That's, something you got to ask yourself. It ain't you people in the Christian church. It's the men that you love to hate. You say we're racist, we're hate preachers. You're going to have to eat them words soon, man. Because everything we've been saying it's not been debunked yet. And it hasn't been proven wrong. And it won't be. Because we're saying, thus saith the Lord. We don't speak our own words. We come straight out the book. We link it up with current events. And we show you exactly where we're at in the timeline of life. We're at the end, man. They've even got a damn doomsday clock, which is like 10 seconds to midnight or something stupid. I can't keep track of that. They always bump it up a minute every couple of months. It's like, damn, nigga, when is this shit gonna, when you gonna hit 12? Hurry up. you been at 8 minutes for 8 seconds to midnight for years now. Come on. But they know it's just symbolic that they know that their doom is at the door. But yeah, they'll present that to you when people will still not even put the pieces of the puzzle together. Maybe I should get right. Maybe I should get my stuff right with the Lord. Doesn't even cross their mind, man. We read Ezekiel 7:5. Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and evil and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. Hey, this is the end. It ain't no peace coming, it's only evil, okay? This is a time where, if you ain't getting your stuff together with the Lord, you're literally a fool, man. Let me bring out another preset to back this up real quick.
Yeah, like my brother was just sort of mentioning about the fact that you got these people adjusting the seconds on the doomsday clock. I mean, how do they know? Like, how would you grasp that? Because how do you know it ain't like 1 second to midnight? You know what I mean? Like, so how do these people have the understanding that, we're 8 seconds away from midnight? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense because the scriptures say, and while you're searching for that, I'm just going to quickly read this precept. Cool, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and I'm going to start at verse 36. It says, But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So Yahushai, the angels, nobody knows when that time is up. You know what I mean? The only person that knows is the Lord himself, the Heavenly Father, the Creator, Yahweh. You know, he's the only one that knows when this thing is coming to an end, right? And that was in red letters, so that was Yahweh Shai speaking. And again, it says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man. You know what I mean? Nobody knows when it's going to come to pass. So these people that are saying, oh yeah, there's 8 more seconds until, I don't know if it's 8, but, there's 8 more seconds till midnight. How do they know? They don't know. They ain't got a clue. They just have an understanding that we are coming to the time of the end. This is the end of their rulership. And they understand that. You know, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to fulfill their agenda before the time's up. You know, but they don't understand that they're just falling into the prophecy that was written them, that they will fall into. You know what I mean?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, start 17. We bring this out a lot, but this is very relevant to the time we're living in, right? And the fact that, you know, like I said, a lot of people are seeing these things, but they're still not getting right. They're still caught up in folly and entertainment, man, bread and circus. And it's propaganda, it's media and stuff, and the entertainment that they put in your face that keeps you distracted from what's really important. You know, what's really important is seeking the Lord with all your might. You know, all those people, you know, I was one of them back in the day, said, you know, I believe in the Lord, but I just can't serve him right now. I'll serve him later. You know, later on in life, I'm going to get right with the Lord. You know, they say, right? This is later in life. This is the end. This is the time where if you had that in the back of your mind, you need to act upon that now. This is it. There ain't no, there ain't no waiting. You know what I mean? Like, you put off from day to day, then sudden destruct. Can you grab that real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Putting it off from day to day, because I forget the exact precept. But I'm gonna read this for now. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And this is the prophet Ezra speaking, because he knew about the time that he was going to be alive in these end times. He knew about what was going to happen, and he knew he was going to be here during that time. That's why he says, who will deliver me in those days? Because he isn't in those days when he wrote this or when he was saying this. It's because he understood reincarnation, which is what the real prophets are teaching. They don't teach that in Christianity. There's another hint. If you have the wisdom to connect the dots, that's another hint to let you know that the prophets aren't in Christianity, man. The prophets that the Lord sent before his destruction are here now. And most of you just can't recognize them, but that's because the Lord didn't bless you with his Spirit. The Lord didn't bless you with the Holy Spirit. And therefore, you're more than likely a candidate for them missiles, man. You're just gonna have to feel the flames, unfortunately, man. Taste of his destruction. So I'm gonna read that again. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, meaning destruction is me. I'm through. I'm through, basically, right? Who will deliver me in those days? He's panicking because without divine intervention, no one is gonna escape this judgment that's coming. Because believe it or not, everything seems pretty calm now. You can still go to work, you can still go walk your dog, you can still do what you do in your day-to-day life, right? Everything seems normal. That's why people ain't taking it serious. But the day is coming where it's going to be right on your doorstep. It's going to affect your life personally. You're going to be taken way out of your comfort zone. Then you're going to get off the couch. But by then, it's going to be too late, man. Lord willing, we'll get into a few precepts later to show you that while the prophets are here is when you need to take advantage. That's basically the fact that you're seeing us right now means that the doors of mercy are still open unto you, man. The Lord still has mercy and you still have time to repent. After you don't see us anymore, that's when you should be panicking, because then no matter how much you pray, no matter how much you beg the Lord to forgive you and now you want to listen, it's going to be too late, man. Lord willing, we'll bring out a precept or two on that later. But for now, woe is me, he says. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Who will deliver me in those days? Talking about the days we're living in now. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Just like written in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, when he talks about wars and rumors of wars, all these are the beginning of sorrows, he says, right? A lot of you understand that precept. It's very popular. It links up with this, showing you that they say that the Apocrypha, because this is what I'm reading out of, right? They say that the Apocrypha is not, not spiritually inspired or not biblically inspired or something, was it?
Yeah,
That's why they removed it.
Effect, yeah.
They removed it because they believe it's not really a proper part of the Bible. But when the 1611 King James Version was first made, it had the Apocrypha in it. It was a part of the Bible that was removed. And anybody that removes anything in the Bible or adds to it is going to receive of the plagues that are written. You know, the things that I'm about to read you as some of the plagues, right? So it says, verse 18, 2 Ezra 16 and 18. This is the beginning of sorrows, right? And great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, because all of this destruction is going to come suddenly. Right now, we ain't seeing famine and death. I mean, on a small scale here and there, dotted about the earth, but it's coming on a large scale globally soon, man, because this war is going to get out of control. All this stuff you're seeing on, these little updates about the World War III here and there, maybe major update here, major update there, breaking news here, breaking news there. All of that is just going to keep intensifying and getting worse and worse until it gets really, really bad and it boils over out of control, man. It ain't dying down. There ain't going to be no peace, man. 2 Ezra 16 and 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, right, which we're in now. And the powers shall stand in fear, meaning these so-called elites, right? Because they know what time it is. This is why they call themselves Illuminati, which means light bearer, right? Same thing as Lucifer, right? So these elites, they understand what you don't understand. They understand that the Bible is true. They laugh at people that consider themselves atheists or whatever because they know that you're a fool, man. If you believe that we're just here by chance, Big Bang, crazy, man. It says the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And this is the point I wanted to get at right here, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So all these things happening right now, and the things that are soon to come, are sent of the Lord to get you right. But a lot of you just ain't paying attention, man. You ain't gonna get right. You're just gonna continue, with your folly and entertainment, man. And it says right here in verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So all the signs that are right here, dead in your face, the prophets, you have the blessing of the prophets right here. Your eyes shall see your teachers. You have the blessing of actually seeing us. But you misused his prophets, man, to your utter demise, because you didn't recognize that the Lord is basically doing all these things to punish you, to get you right, but you still ain't getting right. You're not repenting when this is the time of all times. After this, if you don't get right now, the Lord basically says you're through. There's nothing more I can do for you. There's no fixing you. There's no fixing stupid, man. Bring out what you got.
Yeah, this is a book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 5. I'm going to read verse 7, because this is going into the point that you were making, that, the doors of mercy is still open, right? You still have the opportunity, as long as you have the brothers out there on the highways and hedges, doing the sit-down lessons, bringing out the word of the Lord in truth and in sincerity, you still have an opportunity, but that time is very short when it comes to an end. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 7. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. So don't just, I'll do it tomorrow. Don't just put it off and say, oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. Don't put it off. Just get into it straight away. Right? It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Right? So suddenly it's going to come. It ain't going to be like, one of those things where you see it coming and you have time to prepare. No, it's going to be like, one of those things where it's just all of a sudden everything was good one minute, and then instantly you see how weather changes, right? You see like people sitting there thinking, it's a sunny day, then within about 10 minutes, it's a tornado. You know what I mean? Like destruction. That's what it's going to be like, man. You're putting off day to day from seeking the Lord, and you think, oh, I'll do it another day. I'll do it. You ain't gonna have time. Like the Lord is telling you, now is the time that you seek Him while He may be found. Right? If you ain't seeking Him now, then when that time comes, it's just gonna be one of those things. Like, hey, you had your opportunity, but you chose to put it off, and now you stuck. You got left out here on your own. You know.
That's it.
Because that day of vengeance is coming, right? I got another precept here. I wanted to keep reading in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I'm going to read verse 37 because, you think about the time when Noah's Ark, or you think of the time of Noah's Ark, when Noah was building the ark, people were probably scoffing at him. He's telling them, like, look, you need to seek the Lord now. And all those people scoffed at him and just chose not to listen to what he had to say, probably made fun of him, come up there, scoffing, saying, oh, you reading out of that book, you know what I mean? Like how they do today. I'm not saying that they were doing it that specific way back then, but they were probably scoffing, saying, "No, you're building a boat in the middle of a dry area. There's no water around it. Like, what are you doing?" You know what I mean? They were probably scoffing.
And it's mad because back in the day, I used to read about that story when I was younger, and I used to think to myself, man, what a experience for everyone not to believe him, and he was right the whole time. I used to wonder what it was like to be in them shoes, but we're here in them shoes right now, man.
Yeah.
The same thing is happening because the scriptures say as it is in the days of Noah, so shall it be.
I'm literally about to bring that scripture.
Oh,
up.
are you? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 37. It says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." So in that time, right, when, Noah was out there, bringing out the truth, speaking to the people, building this ark, preparing, he was building that ark. And what we're doing here is we're building a spiritual ark, So back then, the people scoffing and pointing their fingers. But then what happened? It started raining, started flooding. And then the people like, oh, let me in. No, sudden destruction, right? But I'm going to keep reading. It says, "For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark." So they were just going about their normal everyday life, thinking everything was sweet. And then Noah, ends up getting up on the ark, and that's when the rain clouds started coming. Now that people are starting to worry, like, oh, hold on a minute, what's going on here? Noah not looking stupid now, is he? You know what I mean? And it says, verse 39, "And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." So, the people were scoffing, doing their thing. Noah was preparing. The whole time Noah was preparing. And the Lord looked out for Noah, didn't he? And his family. His family was protected. Right? But all the people that were scoffing, just continuing with their everyday life, putting off from day to day, "I'll do it next week, I'll do it tomorrow." Now look at them, trying to bang the door to get in the ark. Nah, but the Lord sealed that ark. Right? So the Lord sealed the ark and people couldn't get in. That's what's happening now. We're building that spiritual ark. So you ain't seeing brothers out here building boats, but we're building up the understanding, the truth, the knowledge that you need to have to survive these times that we're coming into. Because if you don't know the name of the Lord, how are you going to call upon the Lord to save you if you don't know his name? It's just an example, but I wanted to bring that out because, again, we're at that time, the time where it's boiling over. And it says, "Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord." And it says, "And put not off from day to day." Don't put it off. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Right?
Yeah, man. Because you got certain camps that they're trying to teach you not to call on the name of the Lord, man.
Exactly.
And they do it in very deceptive, sneaky ways, man. Because they make themselves out to look like men of the Lord on the outside, but inwardly they're full of dead man's bones. Because they'll do things to try and make it seem like the name is not important, right? And they'll even go as far as ridiculing us real prophets that are here to help you. We're not hirelings. We don't take no 501c3. Okay, we don't have ad commercials in our videos. We don't get paid for these lessons, and we don't even seek to be. We don't delight in silver and gold. You know what I mean? It has Pharaoh's face on it. But yeah, let me read this real quick. Matthew 16:6. Then said Yahushua unto them, take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees, because they're here today, and they're amongst us calling themselves Hebrew Israelites. Because the thing is, contrary to some people's belief, people that are new in this truth, because I was once new in this truth too, so I'm a witness to this. You come in this truth and you think that all camps are equal, we're all the same, we're all brothers, and that we all have to love each other and get along and all of this. No, there are divisions amongst us, man. The Lord came to divide us, okay? Because if your doctrine isn't the true doctrine, if you're not teaching the truth, then you're not of the Lord, man, regardless of how you appear on the outside. If it doesn't line up with scripture, there's no light in you, if you're not teaching according to this word, man. So when they try to ridicule us and say, oh, you guys are coming up with a name doctrine and all this, be very careful of people like that, man. They don't have your best interest at heart. They're all about the glitz and glam and the clicks and the debates and selling merchandise and just having a good old time, acting like this is a good old time. No, this is a very, very serious and evil time you're living in, okay? And we're sent here to prophesy. We got to be occupied in prophecy. We're not sent here to have Israelite parties and just have a good time here and try to build here. No, this place is through, okay? And you do need the name, all right? But I saw that, so I thought I'd just bring that out quick. But what the point I really wanted to make is a little bit further up. So I'm going to read this, 2nd Ezra 16, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. Right? Because they tempting the Lord, right? And this is Yahushua speaking. It says, and he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. See, the thing about Yahushua, he always had the perfect answer to say, man. Because that's because he possessed a lot of wisdom. And if you're not walking with wisdom in these end times, then you could be snared. You can be caught. You can be deceived. Okay? You have to be very wise, and I don't expect everybody to just be like Yahushua, because he's above us all, man. We can't really be on his level like that, but we ought to follow in his ways and walk with wisdom. Wisdom and knowledge is going to be our stability in these end times.
I was about to pull that pretty.
Yeah, well, you can just go ahead and bring that quick then.
Yeah, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure.
So that's the strength of our salvation, is to walk in wisdom, man.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, I'll even go as far as to say that if you don't possess wisdom, the Lord don't love you. For Christians, they probably got their mouth wide open right now. I can't believe you said that. The Bible says that. All right. The Lord loveth none but he that dwelleth with wisdom. And walk around this world like a fool, man. It says, I'm going to read, I'll start from 2 again. Matthew 16:2. It says, he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather to the day, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Hey man, don't let that go over your head. Look at what's going on in the world. Don't be a hypocrite, because hypocrites aren't making it into the kingdom, man. They're not going through the straight gate, let me just say, right? So if you're here seeing all these things going on, but yeah, you still think we got time to mess about, you still got time for folly and entertainment, you should be putting all your energy, all your strength, all your might into this, man, into this walk. This should be all you talk about. It should be on your tongue all the time, man, in your conversation, talking about the things of the Lord, talking about the kingdom that's coming, talking about the downfall of Esau and getting excited when you think about that. When you see us getting closer and closer to nuclear war, you should be excited. That shouldn't bring you down, because that's a clear sign. That's a bad sign, really, but a clear sign that you love it here and that you want this to continue, man. So you can discern the face of the sky. You can tell when the weather's gonna be this and that, but you can't tell the times you're living in.
I got a precept for that.
You can.
Yeah, this is a book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven." Right? I'm going to jump down to verse 8 and just go straight to the point. It says, "A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace." Right? So the time that we're in now is the time of war. And we can see it. If like I say, you have to be, like, even a blind person can see that we're entering in that season, the time of war, right? We'll get peace once Yahweh Shai comes back and restores the kingdom in the earth. That's when the time of peace will come. But right now, we're at the time of war, right? And Yahweh Shai even says, you can determine the season, well, you can determine the times that we're in, but you can't determine the season that we're in, the season of war, right? You can see it.
Yeah, man. Got precept too.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, it says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." Okay, so this is that time. And we can tell, like it says, measure the time diligently in itself, right? And we do that through the prophecies and linking it up with current events. So this is how you measure the time you're in. We know it's the time of the end now. The elites have a damn doomsday clock, man. So, this is the same as what Yahushua was saying. You can discern the face of the sky. You can tell what the weather's going to be in a week. But you can't tell the times you're living in. It's blatantly obvious. Don't be a fool, in other words, man. Walk with wisdom. If you ain't got the wisdom to tell the time you're living in, and you just lollygagging and acting like everything's fine. If you have any investments in this world, like you talking about a career, I'm going to do this in like 10 years from now, I plan to do this and that, and you fully convinced that that's going to happen, you're a fool, and the Lord don't love you, okay? And that's bottom line, man. Let me read a bit more, actually. Let me start from the top again. 2nd Ezra 9:1. "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before," wars, rumors of wars and all that. When you see these things, right, it says, "Then shalt thou understand," it will click, "that this is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." So the Lord is coming back now. It says, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes," we just had a major one, in Cuba? Was it 6.8 the other day? On top of all the wars and stuff going on. It says, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world," Free Palestine, Black Lives Matter, Trump is going to save America, get the migrants out, all these uproars of the people, man. Get these foreigners out of our country.
Kamala Harris, all them women voting for, for Kamala and going up against Trump voters as well. I mean, all that leads into like the uproars of the people.
Yeah, there's many uproars going on different subject matters, man.
Mhm.
No one's happy because the wicked are in rulership. So, when there be uproars of the people in the world, it says, then shalt thou well understand. You should well understand by now that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So this was always prophecy. It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. It's blatantly obvious now that the end is manifest. Let me pull up a precept to that, man. In Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. So Habakkuk 2 and 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. The vision is the prophecies. It's for an appointed time. All the things that the Bible is speaking about is all going to happen at once. It's for an appointed time. The mark of the beast, right? You got Elon Musk with his Neuralink. You got the cashless society they're trying to implement, which is eventually going to go digital, and it's going to be on a motherboard. tiny little rice-sized motherboard inside your skin, right? And so the vision, Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision, the prophecies are yet for an appointed time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. So speaking loud and clear now. It's just some of you ain't got the wisdom to see. It says, though it tarry, it seems like it's taken a long time. Wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Meaning his word will not go out void, man. It's going to accomplish everything that, he said he wanted it to do. Prophecy is going to prevail and trump, keyword trump, everything. Okay. Yeah, that's it on that, man. Let's see what we got. Let's bring out some of these I got written down. So let's go to the book of Joel, chapter 3. And what was it? 9. Yeah. Okay, this is the book of Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. So this is the time of war, man. Like my brother brought out that precept. There's a time for everything under the sun. Time for this, a time for that. But it also mentions a time for war. And we're in that time right now. This is a time of war, man. This ain't gonna die down, ain't gonna boil over. Get used to being uncomfortable, okay? Because you're about to be taken out of your comfort zone, so prepare yourself, man. Think logically. Do you really think in your mind that this is just gonna die down? Come on, man. That's not using wisdom. So, verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords. Meaning, it ain't time for agriculture and technology and this and that. It's a time for war, man. Beat your plowshares into swords, okay? This is what the Lord is saying to the nations to do. Get ready for war. Invest in weapons. It says, and your pruning hooks into spears. Same thing, right? It says, let the weak say, I am strong. And that's what's happening right now because the Lord has commanded it. So the smaller nations are now obtaining nuclear capability. So, and they got Russia protecting them, right? Being a guard unto them. So they're now saying, hey, we can stand up to this big bad bully America. Let the weak say I'm strong. Is that not happening right now? Of course it is if you're paying attention. This is why you got to understand the Bible to understand the times you're living in, man. And what's really going on in the world. And to who the real prophets are. So it says, in verse 11, Joel 3 and 11, assemble yourselves and come up, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones, right? Talking about the angels, to come down, O Yahweh, right? Because that's what's coming soon. And that's been happening a lot lately. I just did a lesson on that about a lot of the chariot sightings that are going on lately. The so-called UFOs. That's the angels, man. So the angels are here and they're watching and they're they're keeping close record of everything that's going on. It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat or Yehoshaphat, or the place of Yahweh's judgment, right? Which is in the Levant region. So that's what's happening. The Lord is strategically placing all these troops and stuff over in the middle, what they call the Middle Eastern region right now. This is what's happening. This is the time we're in. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So there's going to be a bloodbath in that region, man. It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. That's why this war is not going to die down, because we know what the Bible says. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe, them nukes are ready. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. And you can just see it in the world today, man. You got women crying because Kamala lost. Now they can't kill their babies in the womb, which they still can. Esau ain't going to do away with that. There's great profit in that, For one, it depopulates the Israelites, because that's always been a problem to them. We were multiplying in Egyptian captivity, and they couldn't stand that in ancient Egypt. And the same thing's happening today, man. So they can depopulate us. Plus, they can use the fetal cells for food products. If you don't know about that, that's why this place is absolutely wicked. Partially, because they're putting aborted fetal cells in your food, man. But everyone's okay with that. Everyone wants to fight to keep this place going, make America great again, so we can keep eating poison and corrupted food and working on 9 to 5s.
Yeah, I wanted to bring out precepts. You was talking about the prophets, like the prophets are the real teachers out there that are bringing out this truth. And this is a precept I want to bring out to basically cut you anti-Christians, you know what I mean, Christians or whatever. This is the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 6. Because a lot of you anti-Christians, that's why I like that term, but you always say, like, this isn't of the Lord, this is of men. This is men doing this. No, it's of the Lord, right? And it reads, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh have not done it? So that's a rhetorical question. Like, where do you think all this stuff is coming from? You know what I mean? Who do you think is guiding the people's steps and causing them to make the decisions they're making? It's not the Lord, because it's prophecy that needs to be fulfilled, right? It says, verse 7, surely the Lord, our power, Yahweh, will do nothing, but he reveal his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So that if your pastor in the church isn't bringing this stuff out the way it's supposed to be brought out in truth, whether you hear or whether you forbear, like the things you like to hear, the things you don't like to hear, because a lot of you Christians like to hear smooth things, right? It says if you're not coming out of the scriptures telling you of, warning you of the things that are to come, then there is no light in them. You know what I mean? There's no profit from these pastors that ain't bringing this out and warning you, right? So that would go to show you that they're not the prophets, right? If they're not bringing this stuff out, telling you, look, this is what's coming. World War III is what's coming, Destruction is what's coming. If you ain't getting yourself right with the Lord while you still have that opportunity, they're not the prophets, right? The only people that are actually coming out here and bringing these prophecies out is the Israelites. But not all Israelite groups are bringing out these prophecies, right? There's a lot of Israelite groups that are sugarcoating it, not even giving you the full truth, just saying little bits here and there. But their thing is, oh yeah, we're the Israelites, we're this group. Look at our fashion shows. Look at our garments. Look at the people that can see us doing these marches and all this other stuff. I mean, it just goes to show you that they're not taking it serious. But there is one specific group, and I'll mention that group, the brothers and the elders of Great Millstone. They're the ones that are bringing out this truth exactly how it's supposed to be brought out, right? Telling you the name of the Lord, telling you all the prophecies that are coming, telling you what you need to do in order to be considered, acceptable unto the Lord, that the Lord may select you, because we don't know. Even though we're out here bringing this information out, it doesn't guarantee us that we're going to be selected, but at least we're in the running. We're in a better position than most, because we're bringing this word out and exactly how the Lord commanded us to do. And Lord willing, we be a part of that number. But again, we don't know. But yet, if your anti-Christian pastor isn't bringing out this word exactly how it's supposed to be brought out, then there's no profit in that. They're not prophets, right? Because the Lord has revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So somebody has the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to bring that out because, again, when you mention the prophets, like the prophets are the true teachers, that scripture lined up perfectly because the Lord has revealed his secrets. It's the Lord who's done it.
Yep. This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 36. And I'm going to start at 13. And he also rebelled against King Nebuchadnezzar, who made him swear by the Most High. But he stiffed his neck and hardened his heart from turning to the Lord power, to Yahweh power of Israel. Moreover, all the chiefs of the priests and the people transgressed very much after the abominations of the heathen, which was the same. This is mirroring the time. This is the time of Nebuchadnezzar, and this is mirroring the time we're living in now, okay? Because the things that were written aforetime are written for our learning in this final generation, right? So it says, because this is the most important generation of all generations, man. The king is about to come off his throne, man. Verse 14, 2 Chronicles 16 and 14. Moreover, all the chiefs of the priests and the people transgressed very much after the abominations of the heathen. They were very sinful, right? It says, and polluted the house of Yahweh, which he had hallowed in Jerusalem. And Yahweh, power of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. So the Lord sent them prophets to get it right because he had compassion on them, right? Now, the same thing's happening now. The Lord has sent prophets to get you right. But a lot of you listen to little TikTok videos discrediting what they like to call black Hebrew Israelites, which is a red flag. Anyone calls us black Hebrew Israelites, they're just a demon, okay? And they don't know what they're talking about because we're not black Hebrew Israelites. That's just a term that Esau put on the prophets to demonize the prophets. And you lot buy into it, just like you women buy into feminism, and all you people just fall into the traps of Esau, the devil. Anyway, so he sent his prophets. Verse 16, right? It's the point. But they mocked the messengers of the Lord, and despised his words, and misused his prophets. So you didn't take advantage while we were here, and you didn't recognize us as you should. And it says, until the wrath of Yahweh arose against his people, till there was no remedy. Okay, so that's what's going on, man. Noah was a prophet. They mocked, they scoffed. It's the same scenario every single time. And this time is no different. America's about to be destroyed. It's blatantly obvious. Okay, nuclear holocaust is coming. And a lot of other countries are going to get caught in a crossfire. Great destruction is coming. The Lord has sent his prophets, but they're mingled among a lot of false prophets, which was also prophesied to rise up in these end times. Pursuant to what? Matthew 24, is it?
Uh-huh.
Many false prophets will arise, right? So that's what's happening right now. So it's up to you to whether if you have the spirit of discernment, if you have the Holy Spirit on you, then you will not be deceived. The elect won't be deceived, man. It's impossible for the elect to be deceived. So the elect are going to find their way either way. But Lord willing, lessons like this will, because we're only speaking to the elect when we do these lessons. We're fishing for the elect. The rest of you that don't believe, we don't care because you're not a part of the elect anyway. You know, we only care about the elect. So the ones that might be a part of the elect that ain't quite in it yet, maybe a video like this can, you know, obviously wake you up a bit more and bring you back to your right mind before the Lord shuts that door of the ark on everyone else that's scoffing, right? So, yeah, that's what's happening. Now, let me, actually, while I'm here, let's just bring out a quick precept to that, because I did say I wanted to bring this out earlier at some point. Amos 8 and 11, right? Because,
Yeah.
oh, you were about
No, you got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because basically it goes hand in hand with the precept I just read, because they're mocking the messengers, right? Till it says till there is no remedy, right? Meaning till it was too late. So this is Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. Now, there is going to be a famine of bread and water, but this is specifically focusing on the famine of the word. That's why it says not a famine of bread or water. So don't get that twisted. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be a famine of bread and water. It just means that this is focusing on the another type of famine, which is a famine of hearing the words of the Lord. And that's going to happen when the Lord removes his prophets from you, because the prophets are here now, right? So you won't be able to hear the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? It says in verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. So they ain't going to find us anymore, man. Because the time of Jacob's trouble, we're not going to be teaching on the corners anymore. And if there are any false prophets out there teaching because they're not in the spirit of the Lord, you ain't finding the truth from them either. Okay? You know what the key element to this truth is? Is to know his name. And there ain't many people out there teaching the right name. Zechariah, but there are other red flags about that camp. Alright? They can't see themselves because we call them the proud camp. They're too proud. They've been blinded by their own pride, man. Because there's many ways that they go off and they're constantly getting rebuked, but they still can't see it because their God is Alizé, or the camp just split up, but their God is Deacon Hakar, or their God is Alazar, right? They don't worship Yahushua. Although they have the name, that's why I brought them up, because they're a camp that actually teaches the name, but they you ain't finding the truth with them. All right, that's a side note. Easily proven. If anyone tries to come at me, I'll put you in your place, man. Quick. It says in that day, verse 13, Amos 8 and 13, in that day shall the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. Thirst of what? Because they are thirsty, they need a drink of water? No, because they're thirsty for this living water, this truth. So they're going to faint for thirst because they're going to be seeking. Let me show you another one, man. Alright, this book of Isaiah chapter 24, I'm going to start at 10. The city of confusion is broken down, right? City of confusion is Babylon the Great, aka America. Because the word Babylon means confusion, okay? And that place is full of confusion. Hence the reason why they're pushing their genderism thing, their genderism agenda upon the whole world. They want the whole world to be in confusion like them, right? The city of confusion is broken down. That's what's happening right now. The Lord is breaking that place down. America is not, hence the slogan, make America great again. Why would they say that? It's because it's broken down. It's not great anymore. Or it never was, but it's definitely not now. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. It says there is a crying for wine in the streets. See? They're searching for answers. They're searching for the truth, man. It's happening now, but it's going to happen even more when we're taken away from them. There's going to be a crying for wine in the streets, not actual wine. You know, where can I get a bottle of wine? There's no wine anywhere. No. It means philosophy. Wine goes into philosophies, or in this case, it means like answers. They're seeking answers, man. They're seeking the truth. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. You know, and being that that's coming, we should be taking this time serious, because this ain't the time to be focusing on mirth. All that's going to be gone soon. And then you're going to be, you know, wishing you'd have prepared yourselves, you know. You got anything you want to bring up?
Yeah. So one of the things that ideally you should be looking out for, which I don't hear a lot of other camps really bringing out. So I don't know if they are, but one of the main things that you should look out for is when they start talking about peace and safety, which is what you're starting to see a lot of in the news, right? This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. And I'm going to start at verse 3. I'm going to start from the top, actually. I'll just read 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you." So again, it's talking about the seasons, understanding the seasons that we're in, you know, the times we're coming into. Verse 2 says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, so cometh as a thief in the night." Right? So it's going to come unaware, suddenly, sudden destruction, yeah? "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So if you think about a pregnant woman, right? She don't know when the kid's coming. She just knows that she's going about her daily, you know, activities, and all of a sudden the water breaks. Boom. Now it's coming. Baby's coming. There ain't no stopping it, right? So it says, verse 4, "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief." So the men of the Lord, you know, the prophets, they're being circumspect, meaning, you know, circumspect meaning they're keeping their head on a swivel. They're looking everywhere. All the information that's coming out, all the news that's coming out, all the prophecies that are coming out. They're keeping their head on a swivel and matching it up with what the scriptures is saying. Is that supposed to be part of prophecy? It's written here. Yes, this is part of the prophecy. Okay, so this is one step further. So this event here that's being discussed in the news is part of the prophecy that's being revealed, right? It says, "Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness." The children of darkness would be the people that ain't trying to, you know, take heed to the Lord. You know what I mean? They're blinded, you know, because they're not following the correct way, because they have no understanding. Yeah. That goes into the knowledge as well. When you ain't seeking the knowledge, you know, you're gonna be like left out. You're gonna have no answers. You know, when the real men of the Lord are taken off the streets, taken off the highways and hedges, the people are gonna be like, "Yo, this is what those Israelites, those black Hebrew Israelites were talking about. Let's go to the corner. Let's go to the corner and get the answers." And where they at? You know, where they at? And you're going to see some bug outs like, "Yeah, see? Yeah, you got, you know, the aliens, the Anunnaki and you know, planet Nibiru." And, you know what I mean? Like, they're coming, you know. Man. Planet Nibiru is hiding behind the sun right now. It's going to come. You know what I mean? Like, they come out all kind of bugged out doctrines. And people are going to be panicking because they're going to be like, "Hold on a minute. The Israelites were the, you know, even though I scoffed, they were the ones that were telling me that World War III is about to kill. They were the ones that were telling me about the RFID micro C-HIP. They're the ones that were telling me about, you know, this NWO agenda. You know, they were the ones that were breaking it down and going into the scriptures and showing me exactly what it was saying when it was said, like, you know. And that's one of the things that you'll see is like when they say peace and safety, which this is what they're talking about now with this NWO agenda, you know, stability, you know, no more credit card fraud, because you're going to have the MOTB under your skin. You know what I mean? You know, there's going to be no trafficking. You know, you ain't going to worry about your loved ones going missing because we'll be able to track them. You know what I mean? Peace and safety. But then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child. You know, it just goes to show you, and that's one of the things as well that you gotta understand. I got another precept here, right? Which is I think is relevant. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, "But the day of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the Lord, the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up." You understand? So, when it talks about the elements melting with fervent heat, what do you think can melt elements? What it would take for something to melt the elements? Maybe an atom bomb or a nuclear bomb. That's what it's referring to. That's what it's talking about. The nukes. Is not Russia right now talking about the nukes? Mm-hmm. Is America not talking about the nukes? China, Russia, not Russia, North Korea, are they not talking about nuclear weapons right now? The nuclear weapons are the talk of the town right now. Mm-hmm. The scriptures are telling you, like, hey, look, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. It's giving you hints, clues. If you got the eyesight to see it, to understand it, you understand that this is talking about nuclear weapons. Yeah. Right?
Because the Bible isn't going to say nukes.
Yeah, it's
Don't be silly, man.
Yeah, because back then they wouldn't have had the term for nukes, right? It's like you trying to describe it, like you having a vision of a future weapon, right? And you're trying to think of it like in today's terms, like, oh, the way I can describe it is like it's like a nuke, but in the future maybe it's referred to as a I don't know. I can't even think, like a squiggle ray or something. But yeah, you ain't gonna say squiggle ray now because you're like, what the hell is a squiggle ray? You know what I mean? But I'm just giving an example, right? And I'm gonna keep reading actually because there's a little bit more me on this. But verse 11 says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" So your conversation right now should be in these scriptures.
That's it, man.
Your conversation should be, how can I get right? What do I need to do? Like what is happening in the world today, these events that's going on, like, preparing yourself instead of, oh, mate, you watch the match. You watched a football match last night. You see Arsenal fucking smash, whoever, whatever, man. You know what I mean? That's not holy conversation. Or you're going out to the club tonight. That's not holy conversation. But having a conversation, you see these Russians joining up with North Korea and moving into Ukraine, and America, and this is talking about this in the scriptures, the elements melt in fervent heat. That's occupying yourself in the prophecy, right? In the holy conversation, right? It says, looking, verse 12, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 12, says, "Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." Okay, it says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness." That's what our conversation is be like. Take these wicked people out of their position of being in rulership. Take them out. We need righteousness to be established in the earth once again. We want Yahushai on the throne. We want to see how the earth is when Yahushai is reigning in righteousness. That's our conversations, right? And that's the conversations I know a lot of brothers out there are having, right? You see, there's some talented brothers out there that do videos of the kingdom, Manasseh Zach Ben Yamyan, to give you an example. He makes some videos that just make your mind wonder, like, wow, how amazing is the kingdom going to be?
And the thing about him is, that's his profession. He's constantly improving on it. When as the technology grows in AI advancements, now first it was just AI images, then the images got better quality, and now you can do like AI videos and stuff, and he's taking advantage of that. He's sharpening his talents and stuff, man, which is what we all should be doing. And I just want to say as a side note real quick, all you brothers on the comment boards of our videos, right? You are, some of you comment regularly, you know what I mean? don't just watch our videos. Seek to be teachers, man. Okay, because we were in the same boat. We were commenting on brothers' videos, thinking, "Wow, I love what they're preaching. You know, I wish I could do that one day." And look where we are now. Okay, because we put it into action, man. We're not just settling by watching videos and saying, "That's it, I'm a man of the Lord." We're not stopping there, and you shouldn't either. The scriptures say, "Study to show thyself approved."
Mm-hmm.
So when you watch our lessons, don't watch it for entertainment. That's not why we're here. Okay, we don't have respect for you if that's what you're doing, man. You can comment shalom all you want, but if you're not making action to make yourself part of this battle, being on the front lines of this war, because we are at war. All right, don't be sitting back doing nothing, letting us do all the work. You know, get involved, man. Okay, because there's a great reward at the end of it anyway. Not that that's all you should be doing it for, but you need to be doing it because it's being obedient to the Lord, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and showing how much you really love the Lord, man.
Yeah. We seek to please the Lord, you know, to the best of our ability. You know, even though our righteousness is filthy rags, but you know, we want to get out there and you know, make you know, plea to the Lord, like, you know, hey, you know, we're with you, fully on board with you, Lord. You know, we'll do whatever it takes. You know what I mean? Like, you guys seek to please the Lord, man. You know.
Yeah, because we're not the best teachers out there, and we're aware of that, and we don't seek to be on the same equal level as the prophets, man. You know, we can only dream of being on that level, but we're doing what we can, you know, and we're doing the best we can and with sincerity, man. Mm-hmm. And that's all it takes, you know, just being sincere. Do what you can to make your doctrine as pure and on point as possible. That's the main thing. Because if you don't understand something, that's fine, but don't speak on it. Only teach what you know, but you need to be seeking to be teachers, man. Okay? Because the laborers are few, but the work is plenty, but the laborers are few, the scriptures say. So there's a lot of work to be done, but there's not many of us doing it, you know? So the more of us that are doing it, the quicker the kingdom can come. The more people are getting edified, man. Because we've never been into public speaking. Before we come in this truth, we never ever did anything like this, man. We're just regular people. We wasn't on Facebook and all that. We didn't, you know, we wasn't big on that type of thing, man. Okay? Be putting on in the spotlight and all that, okay? But we just was obedient because we had that desire in us to share what we learned. We learned so much. We was excited about the truth that we learned through the prophets that we couldn't hold it in, man. We couldn't just keep it to ourselves. We willingly wanted to teach. It wasn't something like, oh, we feel forced to do it. We wanted to. And that's what you need. That's the spirit you got to be in, okay? And this lesson ain't really about that, but that's just a side note, man. Because there's a lot happening and there's a very short window for you to be a part of this legacy. Because think of it, when all is said and done in the kingdom, we're reading this Bible now about the Noah and Jeremiah and all these great prophets and stuff, right? Don't you want to be a part of that? Don't you want to be have an eternal legacy that you wasn't a fool and that you was on the front lines of this war in the end times? This time is going to be spoken about for generations to come in the kingdom, man. Okay? And the glory that the men of the Lord are going to receive is going to be crazy. Okay? You think of a man in the nicest whip in this world. He's got tons of money, traveling the world, eating the finest restaurants, and everyone loves him. He's just so trim and clean, and he's got a good physique, and you know, that man's in glory in this world. Think of a man in that type of glory in this world. All the women surrounding him. Every day like a holiday. That's glory. But it ain't nothing compared to the glory that the men of the Lord are going to receive on the other side for doing his will, man. Okay?
Mm-hmm. So, you know, and that's something to think about, to meditate on. You know what I mean? It's like, even like my brother mentioned, like it's not about the reward. It's because we want to do this for the Lord. Hey Lord, you've commanded us to do this. We want to put our foot in and do it. You know, and we're doing it to the best of our ability. You know, but again, it's like one of those things. Is like you think of like, man, the kingdom is gonna be something else. You know, can't even, you know, the imaginations that you think can't even compare to what is you know, the Lord's got prepared, you know. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen, man. Ain't that exciting?
Yeah.
That's exciting, man. You know, so.
But anyway, let's continue on because we got a few more precepts to bring out. So let's continue on with this about the war and stuff, right? And this scripture I'm bringing out here is basically how things are not gonna go back to what they call normal. Okay, only it's gonna get worse, right? So it says in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 25, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. It says, mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. And that's what's happening right now, okay? Things ain't getting no better, they're just getting worse. People are seeking peace. You know, talking about they're writing letters to Putin. Dear Putin, I did not ask for this war. Please, we don't want the smoke. We don't want the beef with you. Sorry for our government's incompetence and all this type of stuff. And it's kind of funny in a way, but in another way, it's like, there ain't no peace coming, man. So the best thing for you to do is brace yourself for impact.
Dear Vladimir Putin, mighty dictator of Russia, I believe I speak for all Americans when I say we don't want no smoke. We were under the impression that the war was coming to an end. We were just as surprised to find out that Ukraine was sending U.S. long-range missiles that us taxpayers pay for into Russia. We had nothing to do with that. I like Russia, and we don't want a war. So if you can find it in your heart to spare us regular citizens and not make us pay for the incompetence of our government, I'm sure Joe Biden was sleepwalking again when he authorized this. We have no power. We run nothing. Our own government don't even like us. Yes, you have threatened us with nukes before, but they steady saying that you are bluffing. But for some reason this time, I reached out to you because this feels different. I don't know why they don't listen. Also, can you let Kim Jong-un know that there is no beef so he can keep his people in check, because this really isn't their business. Just like Ukraine isn't ours, but we keep helping them against my better judgment. We, the people, want peace in the world and in the United States. So please keep that in mind. Yours truly, a concerned U.S. citizen who does not want to become pink mist. Thank you. I hope to hear from you soon.
Let me start at 26. Ezekiel 7 and 26. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet. They're going to be looking for us, man. It says, but the law shall perish from the priests, and the counsels from the ancients. So you ain't going to be able to find us, in other words, man. This is basically what this is saying. It lines up with Amos 8 and 11. It says, the king shall mourn, and the priest shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them. It says, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. And that's why we got to put more emphasis on that name, because what name is these prophecies coming under? You know, who gets the credit for what we're bringing out in this truth, man? By the end of it, after all is said and done, the glory goes to the Lord, because that's the name we're coming under when we're bringing out this truth, so they know who is the true God to fear in this world. Okay? You ain't finding out these prophecies under the J word, okay? In Christianity, you're not finding out these prophecies under that word, under that name. So credit ain't going to him when all is said and done. In the end, they're gonna know it was Yahweh Shimi Shai, man. Okay. And that's why the name matters. That's another reason why the name is so important.
Yeah, so just speaking of the times I'm coming into, right? We understand that, the times, everything's starting to escalate in this war, it's starting to build up, but we understand through the scriptures that the missile's going to be shot towards America, aka Babylon, the virgin daughter of Babylon, right? So this is in the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16. I'm gonna start at verse 13 and just give you an idea of where the fact that it's talking about the missiles, right? It says, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow; his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." So when it's talking about, like we were talking about before, how back in the past they wouldn't have had the term nuclear weapons, or missiles. They describe it in the best way they could describe it from their time period. So, when it's talking about the arrow, the archer, bow and arrows, he's shooting his arrows. When you're thinking about that from, the future terms, we would see it as missiles, right? Missiles, ICBMs being launched from one end of the earth to the other. But here it's describing it as strong as his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp. These sharp, arrows are you got your hypersonic missiles, you got your ICBM missiles. The missiles that they're sending, they're shaped in the shape of an arrow, right? So if you were somebody in the past trying to describe what you're seeing in today's terms, you would describe it as an arrow. It's sharp because they got the points, right? The pointed lines or edges or whatever, the cone cylinder shape, right? It says, "and shall not miss." They have pinpoint precision accuracy that they can shoot a missile right between your eyes. A lot of the 2/3 are going to get it right there in between the eyes, and they, hit with precision, right? It says, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So intercontinental ballistic missiles being shot from Russia to America, from America to Russia to China, wherever they're being shot, they're described as archers, right? It says, "Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth." They launch the nuclear missiles, they go into space, and they're in space just gliding towards their target, and then when they reach the target, they then re-enter the atmosphere. You understand? All right, and it says, "Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consumes the foundation of the earth." That's that destruction. When them nukes hit, you see the explosions. How the explosions are, and everything is just turned to glass, right? Because it's melting the elements with fervent heat. That's what it's talking about, right? Yeah, so it says, verse 16, it says, "Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backwards," right? Unless they're really crap at aiming, but you know what I mean? They're using a boomerang friggin' arrow or something, maybe. But yeah, that's unrealistic. It says, "Like an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again," right? So when Russia launches them nukes, they ain't coming back to Russia. They're going straight to their designed target, which would be America, right? It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?" Right? Because Ezra's speaking, he's like, yo, who's going to deliver me from this? Uh-huh. Like, look at the destruction that's happening.
That's what I read earlier.
Yep. And and there we go. That just goes to show you, just I'll leave it there because I won't need to read anymore. But it's just, that's what it's referring to when it's talking about the archers firing the arrows, the nukes. Russia's the archer, the nukes are the arrows. Oh. Right?
Yeah, not just Russia. There's loads of countries that are the archers, man. Because it's going to say it right here. And anyway, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, "They come from a far country, from the ends from the end of heaven, even Yahweh and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So not only the nukes, it's going to be chariots too, okay? They're coming to destroy the whole land of America, okay? Because it's going to look like some kind of alien invasion on that day, man. The way it all plays out. So the scriptures say that these arrows of indignation are going to come from a far country, man. They're going to come from different countries far away from America. And that capability, that nuclear technology is ripe and ready, man, for this time. So those nukes are going to be used. They're not going to be sat in a museum collecting dust as a spectacle. They create it because they're gonna be used. If you want, you can get on deck. They created the Smith, Isaiah 54, and then so the Lord had the scientists create these weapons for this ultimate day, man, and they're ripe and ready, right? My brother's gonna bring that out in just a sec. But verse 6, Isaiah 13:6, howl ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So the Lord ain't coming back to give everyone hugs and presents and deliver everybody from these wicked elites. No, a lot of them are down with the ways of the elites. All of you that were voting, you're down with the elites, whether you understand it or not. You've invested in this system. You should be leaning upon prophecy. The scriptures say, since all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be? Should you be voting for future investments? Should you be voting for somebody that's going to reverse these prophecies? No. You should be fully convinced that prophecy is going to prevail, so I need to get ready. And how do I get ready? By building a bunker? No. By getting right with the Lord, man, because he's the one that's sending the plagues, right? It says, because it says here, I'm going to read verse 6 again. Howl ye, right? Tremble, basically, right? For the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. The Lord is sending this. So don't pray for things to get better. You're praying against the will of the Lord, man. This is what we're trying to tell you. Get your head right, okay? Come out of Christianity, man, because they're leading you astray. It says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid, and pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. So they're going to turn and look at each other like we're screwed. They're going to feel helpless. They're going to know that it's over for them. We're about to die. A lot of people fear death, but when that moment comes and it hasn't happened yet, but you know you're about to die, that's what's going to happen on a mass scale in America, man. Because the nukes, when they start hitting, they're not going to destroy the whole land in one go. It's going to take 1 hour to destroy America. So during that whole hour, they're going to know that their time is coming, because the nukes have now hit this place, now hit that place. Now they've taken out this major city. Oh, shoot, man. They're getting closer. Hey, man. I wouldn't want to be there, because that's the lake of fire. I wouldn't want to be in a lake of fire at that time. It says, and verse 9, Isaiah 13:9, behold, the day of Yahweh cometh cruel, because the Lord ain't sparing children, he ain't sparing cats and dogs and handicaps. Okay, they're all going. It says, behold, the day of Yahweh cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. So America is going to be turned into what looks like the Sahara Desert after, man. It says, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it, because that's the ones that are getting destroyed. What is sin? Transgression of the law. What does Christianity teach you? That the law is done away with. Mm-hmm. Put the pieces of the puzzle together. Christianity is not going to save you. All them Christians are through if they don't come out of that trap. Why the hell you think the government funds Christianity, man? Because the truth ain't in there. They want that to flourish. They have Christian churches on every damn corner, and what's changed? It's whatever, man. Verse 10, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light, because the smoke is going to block out the sky from the burning. It says the sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And what does this mean? That it's just going to all of a sudden just turn off? Broad daylight, where it just happens like an eclipse? No. Smoke is going to fill the air. Thick smoke, because the whole land's going to be desolate from these nukes from World War III that you're seeing playing out right in front of you, man. The signs are there. Verse 11, I'll stop here. It says, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So, hey, that's gonna be a great humbling that day, man. Even before that, you know, a lot of people gonna be humble through the events that are gonna take place leading up to that great and terrible day, man. But yeah, you can bring out what you got now.
Yeah, so this is the scripture that you called for before. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 16. Right, and this is how we understand that, you know, this is referring to them nukes. Right? So it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Right? That's what the nuclear bombs do. They're the waster, you know. And when it's talking about I've created the smith, that's talking about your scientists. You know, what's his name? Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Created, you know, with a whole bunch of scientists. They're the smiths. So when you think about like a blacksmith back in the, you know, the times of the, you know, the swords and the shields and all that other stuff, the blacksmith, his job was to take the iron and sort of beat the iron into the shape of a sword, and, you know, go through this whole process of creating a sword. And, you know, it's the same thing with the nuclear bombs. They had the scientists who were like the you know, blacksmiths. Scientists are the smiths, creating that weapon, that ultimate weapon, right? And that ultimate weapon being the nuclear bomb, you know, the atomic bomb. And then the atoms, right? So that's what's melting the elements with fervent heat. When you got the atoms involved, you got atom bombs and all that other stuff. That's dealing with like elements, you know. That's dealing with the elements, and, you know, now since they dropped the atom bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they've improved that. Their science has taken them even further. So now, you know, they make the atom bomb, like, you know, look like a firecracker in comparison to what they've got now.
That's it, man.
You know?
Yeah.
They've created the waster to destroy.
Yeah, the Lord put the spirit on them to create these nukes. This is why nukes exist, is because it's the will of the Lord. They're going to be used on the day of the Lord. How else do you think that day is going to burn like an oven, and the elements are going to melt with fervent heat? What else is going to cause that? What else do we possess in the world that's going to cause that?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to sort of say on this, right, because I'm just reading the scripture again, right, and it says, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Meaning it's the Lord's work, it's the Lord's will that this take place, right? So the fact that a lot of people will say out there, because a lot of people will say, oh, they got the nukes as a deterrent, they'll never use them. Why do you think they've created them?
Yeah.
It's for an instrument for his work. It's the Lord's work, you know, his will that they use these weapons. You know what I mean? The Lord's gonna put the spirit on these elite leaders to press them buttons, man. You know, it ain't just to be sat on a shelf like, oh yeah, we got them, but we ain't ever gonna use them. No, they're gonna use them.
And we're anticipating that day, and that's the right spirit to be in. We don't want it to go away. We want it to hurry up, to be honest. Hurry up and press that button, Putin, if you're watching. This is Ezekiel 21, I'm going to start at 8. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith Yahweh. Say, a sword is sharpened, and also furbished. What's that sword? Them nukes, okay? They're sharpened because they've been improving in that capability. They've been sharpening it, you know, doing nuclear tests test runs and stuff, man. Getting it ripe and ready for that day, right? It says in verse 10, it says, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. It says, should we then make mirth? Is this a time to party and just think about, your plans for the future? Oh, my business is growing. I'm just, in 10 years of the way I'm going, I'm going to be rich in no time. Yeah, okay. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth. I always get this. Contemneth. I always can't pronounce that, but it contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. So these things exist that they may be handled, that they're going to be used, right? It says, this sword is sharpened and is furbished to give into the hand of the slayer. Which ultimately is your house shy, but Putin, Kim Jong-un, all these countries that possess nukes, man, they're gonna be the slayer in that day also, because they're gonna press that button. I can't wait. But I know the Lord says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, for what end is it to you? But this is why we do what we do, because the elect should be anticipating, but we call ourselves the hopeful elect. So we're anticipating that day, at the same time we're hoping that we're spared from it, which is why we do what we do, okay? But we are supposed to be in the spirit of anticipating that day, even though we don't know what end it is to us, but we're hoping in His mercy by doing what we do, okay?
Yeah, it's like buying a lottery ticket. You got to be in it to win it. You know what I mean? If you ain't out here doing the work of the Lord, the will of the Lord, hey, you ain't even gonna be considered. You know what I mean? If you ain't purchasing that ticket, you know what I mean? But I got a precept I want to bring out here. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 12. We'll go straight to the point, because again, we're just sort of reiterating and touching on scriptures that point to the nuclear missiles being used in this war, this conflict that's boiling up. This is Zechariah 14 and 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Meaning, like, you ever see the movie Terminator 2, where Sarah Connor's looking at the kids playing in the park, and then LA gets nuked and she's holding onto the fence and her flesh just melts away.
They don't make them movies for nothing.
Exactly, that's predictive programming. Yeah. That's because the elites understand, right? The elites understand this is what's coming, right? They have to cause that catastrophic event. What do they call it? Order out of chaos. They have to, create the chaos and then bring the order. And this is their plan. They want to start this war. They want to escalate it. So, they can cause a lot of havoc in there. A lot of people will perish, right? And then they can say, well, we've got an answer here, accept this new system, and, we'll put you back on. But obviously that's fallen into the will of the Lord. That's the Lord's plan. This is what they hope to do. They seek to do. So that's why we understand, we know that these nuclear bombs are going to start flying, And the fact that you're watching on the news that Putin is even talking about, using them, and you got America talking about using them, and North Korea now has ICBM missiles done. Then you got Iran also, China. You don't think China's gonna get involved? India, Pakistan, everybody's gonna be firing these bad boys.
And whoever has nukes is gonna get touched by them, because if you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword, man.
You can't.
These countries that possess nukes, they're You're gonna have to get involved, man. So hey, I wasn't gonna bring this out just yet, but I might as well, because this lines up with that, right? The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and what was it? 12. All right, check this out. Jeremiah 50, I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Talking about the UK. UK is the one that made America, right? The British went to America, colonized it, and then become the Americans, right? That's history. And so the mother of America is the UK. And the UK is going to be sore confounded, right? And she that bare you, shall be ashamed. So UK is going to be ashamed of America in the very near future. It says, Behold, the hindermost part of the nation shall be a wilderness. And that's talking about the USA, America, right? Because the nukes are going to destroy that land. It says, a dry land and a desert. So like I said earlier, America's about to be turned into the damn Sahara Desert, man. It's going to be left there like Sodom and Gomorrah as a memorial for future generations. As you know, what happens when you live wickedly? What happens when you turn against Yahweh Hashem Yahushai?
Yeah, you can use the reference like the book of Ezekiel, how everything was made a desert, or even Mad Max in Australia, everything's just a desert.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Examples.
So verse 13, Jeremiah 50 and 13, because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited. It shall be wholly desolate. Every one that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. So it's always going to be there in the kingdom of heaven, laid waste. And you think, oh, that's a big waste of land. You know, what about when the population grows and this and that? Don't worry about that. You know, we're going to keep having thousands of children and multiplying, and then there's still going to be room for everybody to have lots of land. Don't worry about that. Don't put a cap on the Lord.
I was literally about to say that. Putting a cap on the Lord, like the Lord can't make it to where we all fit perfectly, comfortably.
In my father's house is many mansions. What, you think it's talking about just buildings? It means planets, other places. We're not just going to be here on earth, okay? No man knows what the kingdom's going to be like. We're talking about a whole new realm, man. Scratch what you think you know about the kingdom, man. Anyway, that's a side note. This is the point right here in verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about, all ye that bend the bow. So all countries that have nukes, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows. All the nukes are going to be used. It's going to be overkill. Why? How else do you think America's going to be turned into the Sahara Desert? And when the elect are looking down at America being destroyed from space, from the chariots, it's going to look like a lake of fire. That's what the lake of fire is. There ain't no lake of fire in a place called hell. Because when it says that death and hell are cast into the lake of fire, well, I thought the lake of fire was already in hell. How do you cast hell into the lake of fire if the lake of fire is apparently in hell? Due to these Christianity's bugged out mindset, man. There ain't no physical place called hell. That's another side note, man. So, spare no arrows. It says, for she have sinned against the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. She's sinned against the Lord, right? So, she is Babylon the Great, America. Ain't no saving America. Ain't no making America great again. Okay? Quit relying on your great white hope, Mr. AKA Donald Trump. Okay? He ain't gonna save you. That's the Edomites' God. Okay? That's not your God. And I'm talking to you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Predominantly. Okay? Because that's what the most of the Israelites are gonna look like. But you do have Israelites of other nations that are gonna see sense in our lessons. And they're not going to be offended because they know that we have the truth. They're going to call on the name, and they are also Israelites. This ain't a black thing, a white thing. Anyway, right. I've got 2 more precepts I want to bring out, and then we'll see. We might close it out. Right, so this is Revelations 11 and 14, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So this is talking of, woe means death and destruction. So the second woe is only mentioned about a second woe and a third woe in this Bible, right? So obviously that means Second and Third World War. So the Second World War is literally just passed, pretty much. And the third woe cometh quickly. It only seemed like we just had World War II. Now we're at the peak of, well, the edge of World War III, right? So that's what that's saying. So basically World War III is going to happen. That's the war to end all wars, and that is biblical prophecy. Now, I just want to bring out one more. And this is Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So all wars were always fought with, like on the battlefield, with men screaming and full of armor and just swinging their sword and,
Some Game of Thrones or Braveheart type battle. Yeah.
Let me read that from the top again. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this... Third World War, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. This one is going to be nuclear, man, and there's going to be all kind of missiles involved, and it's going to be a whole different ball game, because instantaneously you're going to have mass casualties, man. This is a war like no other. This is why you should be taking this war very serious, because of the technology that we possess in these times, man. Because Esau is the sword of the Lord, and he's perfected, and he was blessed with the sword, but he's perfected his killing capability, because that's what he was put here to do. Scriptures say that the wicked was created for the day of evil. That's the time we're living in now. That's why these Edomites exist. That's why the so-called white man is here, to bring about prophecy, to destroy the world, and then he's going to be destroyed because he's the son of perdition. Perdition means destruction, so he's going to destroy the world, then be destroyed. Okay?
That's right. You think about it, like the Lord, took out everybody on the planet in the time of Noah. The first death was the flood. You notice how a lot of these scriptures that we just brought out, they seem to refer to fire. Right, the second death, which is the fire.
Yeah.
2 cleansing agents. You clean with water or you clean with fire.
Yeah, the first was the flood.
Yeah.
And the second death, because a lot of people think the second death means that you die, you go to hell. That's the first death, and then when you're in hell, you're just dying over and over again. That's the second death, they think. Honestly, that's what they really think, right? The second death is the great death that's coming from these nukes, man. The fire, okay? The first death was by water. It was when the world was flooded. That was the first death. But this second death is the last death, man. Okay? So, anyway, I ain't got no more. You got anything else you want to bring up?
No.
Hopefully the point, you get the point, We're approaching that day. Should we then make mirth? This is the time to get serious, man. Get off the couch and act upon that thought you had. I'm going to serve the Lord later. This is later, okay? Make no tarrying, serve the Lord, man. All right? Did you bring that out? Make no tarrying. You did, didn't you? Yeah, because sudden destruction will come upon you, man. You're going to be caught off guard like the rest of these people, because they're walking in darkness, man. But that day ain't going to overtake the elect as a thief. Hopefully you are a part of the elect if you're watching this lesson, man. And I don't want to kick the ass out of it. I think the point is made, and we're going to close out here, all right, and give all honor, praise, and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha, Kodash.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.